Yeah. Yeah. More good news for us. Terrible news for Democrats. I don't know. I saw this video before, but they put it in my recommendations. Because yesterday, I was, I don't know if you don't want to call it talking to myself or whatever. But, I know they're listening. And, I was upstairs or whatever. And, I was doing something, probably cleaning up or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. But I was talking about, I must have watched the video. And I remembered Hurricane Katrina. And the day after it hit, the news was showing, but because it hit us too, it came to Birmingham. But a day after it hit, New Orleans and the levees broke or whatever, this and that. And then days after, I said, this is God, and I was like, because, at that time, y'all really was doing, I mean, you still doing it now, but, I didn't understand what was going on. The witchcraft and the voodoo. And I was like, something said, New Orleans is like the voodoo capital of the world now, not Haiti or Africa, because it has the money and white folks and white witches and black witches, all types of witches and Latino witches, Chinese, Asian witches, get all the witches and, American riches. And it's a tourist destination. I'm like, shit, New Orleans. That's why it got washed away. And, at the time, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know what was going on. And I only had a few people left that I could talk to anyway, right? But I was talking about how, what was it, Pat Robertson? I couldn't remember yesterday. I was like, I can't remember that guy. But he said the same thing, but he said it, like a week or two later on national TV and got in trouble, a little backlash, but he said, oh, he didn't care. And I was like, and I'm like, this can't be a coincidence. But I never said it out loud. But, like I said, there's things I thought, and I know for a fact nobody else would think them, and people said it out loud after I thought it. But it might not have been a thought. That time, I didn't understand. God talked to me or, you know, had some, and the Holy Spirit had talked to Pat Robertson. She's like, oh, that's pretty arrogant of you. It's like, hey, yeah, it is what it is. All I know is I ain't got no proof, but I know for a fact I thought that immediately. Like, what does that have to do with anything? I'll show you in a minute, but I want to show something else first. Well, I'll just show it. They put this when I woke up. That was in, my homepage. But here's the real good news. I don't, for me, maybe one day I might hire people, but I doubt if I'll be having to pay them overtime. And, if anything, the contractor will be the one paying his workers overtime. And, I just pay him and hire, whoever, if he's building or repairing. I doubt if I'll ever personally be hiring people and, But again, Trump does it again.
I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means?
I mean, some of you bums don't know what that means to people. What that would have meant. I mean, it's too late for me, but especially back in 05 and 04 when I was before I was going to buy my house, that was the only way for me to try to make up with everybody else because I was only making $8 an hour, and that was the best I could do at the time because of you all. And the only way to make up was to get a lot of overtime. 60 hours a week. I was happy, 60 hours a week. But they tax you on that overtime. Because I could, at that point, I could basically do the math, in my head, overtime pay. It's now getting $12 for these 20 hours overtime. And I knew how much it would be, and then I knew how much tax they would take out. Roughly, okay, my check gonna be like five something. That's the only way I can even make $500 a week or whatever. But I don't even know if it was that much. But I'm talking about after cut. Maybe it was four. Yeah, no, it was like four something. Because all your overtime is getting taken by taxes. So people working overtime. Matter of fact, I was just talking to someone yesterday. They was talking about overtime and getting overtime. And now I can actually, I'm actually now gonna be like, you better vote. You working all this overtime and money. It's a lot of money that you're losing, and that would have been great for us. But it's all good. I'm just happy for the workers now, for the real workers, not all that free shit Kamala's promising. Not for child tax, like them black women said. Well, you gonna get money for that child tax? You gonna take it from the workers? Like for women, a lot of nurses, they're still on. They get salary. They get a lot of overtime, and especially a lot of nurses. And that for y'all, that would be a great at nurses pay. No overtime tax. Your regular salary is taxed, but all that overtime is definitely yours. But keep on trying to, Democrats, because you mad at me. You really shooting yourself in the foot now if you got to get, all you city workers, garbage truck drivers, you mad at me. Yeah, but now you're going to really shoot yourself in the foot. All that money, and I don't want to hear, all money ain't good money. And like, no, that's just plain stupid. That is plain stupid. All that overtime you could be getting, and now it's tax free legally, like it's supposed to be. And the money, where it's gonna come from, the money that people owe us, all the billions, hundreds of billions of dollars that them other countries, that tariffs and all of that stuff we won't need. Just like you said, you won't need to cut Social Security if you go get our fucking money. Like I said, it's like you could be a friend, don't have to be a wife. Hey man, don't that nigga owe you some money? He'll pay me back when he get it. He said he gonna pay me back. No, man, don't let that nigga take your money. Exactly. You're not trying to hype your friend up, but right is right, man. No, man, I seen him at the club. He got money to go to the club. Why he ain't got the money to pay you back? And plus you don't want your friend to be no sucker. You can't let your friend seriously. Like, no, man, you need to go get your money. I'll go with you.
That gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives the companies it's a lot easier to get the people. And I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime.
You see, what y'all mad about, he's already been president and showed us he does what he says. He never said one thing he didn't do. With the wall. Shenanigans in an election. It didn't. Biden and Harris tore it down, or didn't finish it. So we don't want to hear that shit. Ain't nobody finna argue with y'all. This is the end of it. Like I said, you fucked. Ain't nobody arguing with you punks.
Work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long...
I mean, that's gonna get a lot of people, flocking to these jobs. Overtime, and they gonna work for real. That's what you gonna get rid of the slackers who can't handle it. And the other workers, they gonna, it's not because they're mad. You're stealing money. No. A lot of them jobs, if you're getting salary overtime, it's physical. So we doing the work and you trying to get over. See, they don't understand. They're not smart enough to understand that. Why you being like the white man? You not the boss. No, bitch. You finna get there, put your hands on this box just like the rest of us. Or whatever. Put your hands on this machine and you finna do like the rest of us. We not no slaves either. Hell, I got a nice house and a nice car. Isn't that? A nice family. I ain't finna hurt myself. Yeah, like I said, there was times these motherfuckers literally would drop the box on purpose, like they were told not to touch it. Had to be. It's like, nah, bro, you gonna put your fucking hands on this goddamn box. First of all, one of us gonna get hurt if you don't pull your weight and need 4 people to lift this, and you trying to be funny. No, bro, something like you got electrocuted or something.
The one in Washington has been looking out for that.
That right there is actually news from Donald Trump as you are with us here on the Hill on News.
And let's see if Kamala make a speech stealing that, in the next couple of weeks. No new taxes not new taxes. We're gonna take the tax away on overtime workers. Let's see if that dumb bitch, actually say that in the upcoming weeks. What do they do about that? And like I said, I bet he talked to, like he said, real smart economists, not no Democrat. Well, we need to give food. We need to give more this and that. We need to give more.
Again, I'm Blake Berman. We've been watching Donald Trump for the past 19 minutes here. He's been on stage for about an hour now, his first appearance post-debate. And as he just laid out there, a new position, and one that will certainly get some play. Donald Trump saying he doesn't want tax on overtime. Essentially, if you work more, as I just hear him say now, more than 40 hours a week, he's now promising, or at least contending, that in his administration, if he's elected, no tax on overtime. We know he's talked about no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. Where might it end? I don't know, but a brand new position there from Donald Trump. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find News Nation.
In 1940, as founder of the American Birth Control League, which later became Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger was no doubt a controversial figure with disturbing views on eugenics, race, and population control. While some argue she even wanted to exterminate the black race, others are trying to erase that part of her past.
The Mike Wallace interview. In the eyes of some, Margaret Sanger has been a heroine. In the eyes of others, she's been a destructive force.
In her own words.
I forgot, but this from 4 years ago. They put it in my look like the sun finna come out, so I'm gonna do this video later. But I also saw something else they put in my recommendations. I'm gonna do that right quick, then I'm gonna go and continue this afternoon when the sun go down. Alright, so this was in my recommendations. Yeah, I'm gonna just do this right quick.
You ladies look so fine, time will stand still just to check you out.
You look so fine, I'm gonna forget you used that line when we met.
So, Zelda, what brought you out to California?
Well, I quit my job. My boss had it in for me because I'm a witch.
Well, speaking as a doctor, lay off the caffeine during PMS.
No, she means it. She's a modern practicing witch.
A witch? A witch? Well, we all have things we're ashamed of. I was a Democrat for a short while.
See,
I'm not ashamed.
I mean, see, they was telling us this stuff way back in the 90s, but in the 90s, I ain't have time to watch TV. I was in the Army when this was this In the House. I never saw one episode. Who was that? LL and, Fonzo Ribeiro. I don't know, it seemed like I saw this episode, but it probably was a repeat in the 2000s, when y'all, had ostracized me. That was probably, it probably was. I think I saw this episode. but it was a reway. You know, it was old. It was probably like 8 years old by then. That time I saw it, and they were telling us. So it seems like Carlton, the Pepsi kid, the tap dance kid, the Pepsi kid, when we was kids. All of us knew him before. He was on Silver Spoons with Ricky Schroeder when I was a real little kid. And, Silver Spoons, yeah, he had a train inside his house. He had video games. But I never wanted that stuff. But it was, like, wow, that would be nice. But I really didn't. But he said he was, I ain't understand. We wouldn't even if I was watching this as repeats in the 2000s, and I already was voting Republican, I wouldn't have understood with Alfonso. I know you might be. He just that's just the line. And he's supposed. They were trying to be funny that he's act like he's white and da 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 da. It's like nah, it might be more than that.
We all have things we're ashamed of. I was a Democrat for a short while.
I'm not ashamed of being a witch. We just celebrate the powers of the earth. There's nothing evil about us.
So your roommate's a witch. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me, like your dad's a werewolf or something?
No. I'm sorry. Is that going to be a problem?
No, I've dated plenty of witches. You're just the first one who's been upfront about it.
You see, that's actually some real game too. He's telling the truth. Yeah, he's telling the truth to us. All of us. Like, yeah, we all probably have. Like, nah, you just like you said, you the only one that just told the truth. It ain't. Oh, I can't date you. And it's this and that. It's like, nah, you the only one that told the fucking truth. It's like I ain't married none of you women, so it don't matter if you claim to be a Christian or not. And they're like we said, they're in the church just like her. Like you said, she just happened to be up front. And then all that shit about we just worship. It's nothing evil about it. It's like, yeah, nah. Ain't nobody buying that shit. Actually I did too. Really I just didn't care, you know. And then, is that well you didn't care? Yeah, I can admit it. You didn't care until it started affecting you and your jobs and everything else. It's like, yeah, honestly, yeah, that's what I said. You got it. Don't embarrass me. And like, oh, you see, you didn't. Ain't that hypocritical? You didn't care until it started affecting you. Yeah, I didn't know about it. None of us knew. They hid it. You know, but what I just say, I do something about it. I immediately started doing something about it. So that's the difference. Y'all, just take it and whine and complain. And, no, I'm doing something about it. But anyway, until later.